Hello YouTube. So I finally got my Metacycle. So after riding it for a little bit, I think it's time for some hacking. Okay, so I bought this thing, which is a USB adapter to the debug port for the VOTOL controller. And I also have this Bluetooth one, which I'm going to talk about some other time. What I also did is build a cable. So on one side it has a connector that connects to the debug port I just showed you. And on the other side it has a 20 pin 2x10 adapter which goes to the connector on the speedometer. So what we'll need here is going to be a connection to the CAN bus, CAN minus, CAN plus, and ground. Ground is not strictly required, but we are going to have ground too. So this is the speedometer, and this is the type of connector we need. I'm going to put some links in the description to help you find one. So let's see how I built this. This is the wiring harness for the VOTOL EM200/2SP. On one side it has a 23 pin connector, and on the other side there are plenty of connectors for different things. What's of interest here are these 3 pins. Again, ground, CAN minus and CAN plus, which are connecting to the debug port. However, Saunders did not use this standard wiring harness. They did their own, and what's happening is the debug connector is connected through this harness to the same pins, obviously pin 23, 7 and 8, but if we follow these wires, they are going to get to the connector of the speedometer, and in particular to these pins CAN minus, CAN plus and ground. Using this, I just glue them together, and this is the final result. Okay, so now let's see everything in action. First, disclaimer, of course, everything that you do here can, destroy your motorcycle, either from a hardware perspective or software. You can end up with, a burned motor or anything, controller and so on. So do it at your own risk. So the first thing you have to do is you have to go to the SIA Ecosys website and download under instructions for use this VOTOL EM2SP software. So once downloaded, this will contain both the driver, which you might or might not need, and the software to program the motorcycle. Once you install the driver, the only thing that you need to take care of is you are going to get a new COM port, right? So you're going to get let's see, the one that I'm going to connect this. Connected. I'm going to get a new COM port, USB serial port. If you look at the properties for this one, you'll want to ensure that under port settings you have 115/200 speed, and we're going to save this. Okay, so with this we can open the programming software. So I'm going to open this. I'm going to choose COM1 under this drop down, which is the COM port for my device, and I'm going to open the port. So now we are connected to this device. Now we are going to connect to the motorcycle itself. So I'm going to take this debug port, connect it to our wire, and then take this one. So now, first of all, we are going to turn on the motorcycle. I think that's the safest way to do it. It's going to, come up. So once it came up, what we are going to do is remove this plastic here. And then there's a tab right behind in the center. Pull it out. And then connect this to this. Okay, and that's it. So now we go here and we make sure the COM port is connected, and now we try to connect, and it's connected. Okay, so now that it's connected, first of all, you can see that it's recognized as an EM100. I'm not sure if that's necessarily bad, but I'm going to change it regardless to an EM200 just to make sure. And then I would strongly suggest that the first thing that you're going to do is to actually export these parameters. So you're going to do save parameters, and I'm not going to do it now, but just save it in a config file as I did here. In case you ever need to recover, you can do import parameters, load that file, and write it back. One thing I forgot to mention is when I connected to the COM port, I made sure that the baud rate is 115200 and CAN enable is off. I know it should be CAN, but with CAN enable, it's either not connecting or doing weird things. Instead, without the CAN enable selected, it works perfectly fine. So these are some parameters. I'm going to do another video maybe for these. You can also see in the display, for example, what's the battery voltage. Now the side stand is extended and the motorcycle is in park. For example, if I press the brake, you can see that the brake turns on and off. Okay, so once we know that the communication is established, let's do our first hack. Okay, so this is where you can destroy your bike, so take care. So what annoys me the most at this bike is when I put the sport mode, it has this automatic logout of 2 minutes and then a cooldown period. Now, obviously, this is because they don't want your motor to overheat. They don't want you to go 80 miles per hour on the highway at, for 5 minutes. But for my driving, which is stop and go traffic, where I want to go, faster than the other cars at the stoplight, I'm going to just disable that. So if we go to page 2, we can see here, this is the amps, the current for sport mode, which is 220 amps. The controller actually can support more than that, so maybe that's another hack for some other time. But right now what I'm going to do is I have this automatic logout enabled, probably. This is a Chinese application, so what I'm going to do is simply untick this, and then I'm going to go here again. Maybe you want to make a safety copy of this, but the moment I do param write, it makes this sound. It says a very English message, write to successful, and it's done. So at this point, what will happen is that once you set your bike in S mode, it can stay in S mode forever. And again, take care. It can burn your motor or controller or both. So take care for how long you use it. There is some thermal protection, but I wouldn't count on that. Once you're done with your hacking, I would recommend to first power off the motorcycle and then disconnect your debug cable and then plug this back in. Put the plastic on top and then test that it actually works. Okay, thank you. I hope you like this. Please subscribe if you like it. I'll try to make more videos on this.